Have you set your business up to guarantee that you're protected? Hello Splash Universe, I'm Derric Haney, and thanks for joining me for another episode of Splash U Small Business Tips, where I help you, a small business owner, marketer, entrepreneur, grow your business every single day. Today I want to talk about how to set up an actual business structure. So if you're a first-time entrepreneur or you're just getting your business off the ground, this message is really for you today on what you need to do to properly protect yourself and from your business and the liability that may hold. You might be thinking, oh, I don't have liability. No one's going to sue me. Oh, it's not a big deal. No one's going to get injured. We're just selling an educational video, or we're just selling cupcakes, or we're just whatever it is. No, you still need to protect yourself because you're still at risk. The world we live in is a dangerous place where someone can sue you for copyright infringement, patent infringement. You can get sued for 100 different things that you didn't even think about. When you put up a web page, when you sent somebody an email, there's risk of being sued. There's so many things. When you do business, when you hire an employee or an independent contractor, you can get sued. There's so many reasons to protect yourself from the get-go and make sure that you have what I believe it's called the corporate veil around your business, so that nobody can sue you personally or touch your personal assets or go after your home or your car or your family just because you started a business. So the way to do that is to start an LLC or an S-corp. And which one you want to start really depends on the structure of your business. So both an LLC and an S-corp have some similarities in how they protect you. They both have what's called limited liability protection, which puts this corporate veil around the business and really restricts how people can come after your personal assets. Usually they can't come after them at all, even though there are ways to go about even going as far as attacking your personal assets through that S-corp or LLC. But most of the time they protect your liability. They are separate legal entities based out of the state in which you filed for your LLC or S-corp. Which means they have their own kind of entity or identity. They have pass-through taxation, so they allow you to file business tax returns and personal tax returns separately. LLCs only file business tax returns if the LLC has more than one owner. They also have ongoing state requirements and cost money to maintain. You have to pay like an $800 state filing fee here in California for either of them. I know for sure. Yeah, I think for either of them, it's a yearly fee that is recurring on the date of founding. They have to pay, or maybe it's the first of the year. Yeah, something along those lines. So a few differences in the ownership of an S-corp or an LLC is that an LLC can have an unlimited number of members that own that company, whereas an S-corp can have no more than 100 shareholders. And if it hits over 100, you actually have to change to a C corporation, which requires more legal paperwork, costs more money, I believe, to hold the C corporation status. And there's a lot more legal hoops that you have to jump through. LLCs are allowed to have subsidiary businesses that they own a piece of within themselves, and S-corps typically do not own other S-corps or corporations. They are a standalone entity. S-corps cannot be owned by a C corporation, so if you're looking to be acquired by another business, you might want to start with an LLC. S-corps can't be owned by other S-corps or LLCs or partnerships or trusts as well. Non-U.S. citizens can be members of LLCs, but maybe won't be able to be a member of an S-corp depending on which state you are in. Some of the things you're required to do if you start an S-corp are you have to create bylaws, you have to issue stock to you and your other shareholders, you have to have initial and annual minutes and meetings for the business. And, if it's just a group of friends and stuff, you're really just going to jot down a couple of things. But you have to keep a few notes on the business. You're going to have a large corporate kind of document portfolio that all of your information goes in so that you can keep track of it for this. If you start an LLC, you're going to have what's called an operating agreement that talks about the duties of all of the members of the business. You're going to issue membership shares You're going to be holding and documenting annual minutes meetings, very similar to an S-corp. There will be other meetings, manager meetings, that an LLC might be required to hold and document. Owners of an LLC can choose to have members or managers manage the LLC. When members manage an LLC, that LLC is much like a partnership. If it's run by the managers, the LLC more closely resembles a corporation, and members will not be involved in the daily business decisions. S-corps, they have directors and officers, CEOs. The board of directors oversees the corporation and the corporate affairs and handles major decisions not based on daily activities. Instead, the directors manage, the board of directors manages the staff, and the staff has to kind of obey their majority, or however the business is structured, guidelines, and then execute it themselves. And this does get a little tricky. So in my business, we have 3 members on the board. It's myself, my co-founder, my wife, and our advisor, he's our advisor and investor. So if we add other advisors along the road, you can see how we will lose majority ruling on our board of directors. So when major decisions come up and we have a board of directors meeting, my wife and I could end up being the minority. And that could mean that I could get booted from my own business as CEO if I don't do a good enough job. So this kind of thing happens in a business like this, and it's important to understand the structure of the business when you start to get involved with it. There's plenty more information online to talk about the differences between S-corp and LLC and find out which one is right for you. I just want to give you a few pointers and remind you that you need to protect yourself and your business as soon as possible, as soon as you've decided to take the plunge into entrepreneurship. You should not be running this out of your personal bank account and taking personal checks and commingling your funds and stuff like that. You need a separate entity that you're in charge of, that you run all of your business affairs out of, and then you pay yourself a salary or a bonus or a dividend at the end of a month, week, year, whatever it is, so that you can keep your personal life and your business life separate. And that also means setting up a business bank account and all of that stuff. And that's when you really start to feel the difference between your person and what you do and your business and what that is. And you can grow that business to be something that is much more than yourself. That's it from me. If you learned anything today, please share or like or leave a comment down below and hit that subscribe button. It's been a pleasure talking to you today, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Derric Haney for Splash U Small Business Tips.